Well, hello, fellow car nuts. Today we're going to be doing some interesting searches. We're going to look around in Facebook Marketplace. We're going to do a deep dive into what is available for um, cars out there that are modified or have some special purpose in the universe of car nuts. As you know, and as we go and dive in here, we're going to look at the cars that are available that have sort of special features for us to dig in and enjoy and find and then pursue because we're in pursuit of that needle in a haystack, that item that you've been looking for years, or that opportunity that just arises out of the blue because suddenly there's a car for sale by owner on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever, even on the side of the road, on the side of the highway with that big old for sale sign on it. So here we're going to dig in here for what it's worth on Facebook Marketplace, which is sort of becoming the go to for a quick idea of what is available out there in the world of car, the car world. So, you know what we do. We get in here, we look around. In a previous video, we actually saw this Subaru Outback, which has some modifications. Um, you can check that video out. We also checked out this Mazda in a previous video. We have another video uh, follow up for that, Mazda 5, if you want to check that out. Definitely go in and look at that video. So we're looking down through here. Some interesting things just coming up just with the random search, no filters put in. We have some items, but we're gonna go in here and do our favorite search for a manual. So if we filter on manual, then we typically will get our favorite cars. And immediately what comes up? Some really interesting options. What is interesting to you? When you pull up a car, do you have a certain thing you're always looking for in an ad, or when you see that car on the side of the road? Are you looking for a manual transmission? Are you looking for a special type of car? Are you looking for a Japanese car to do some modifications to make that a perfect drift machine? Or are you looking for a pony car, Mustang, what have you? As you can see, we've got Eleanor behind us to continue our um, look at modified cars and special cars that we're all looking to acquire, hopefully in a much more legal way than the way they did on Gone in 60 Seconds, that video or that movie. So we're looking down through here. We've got some interesting things. We've got a Hoonigan Miata, 1991 for 2,800. That's interesting. Let's see. Moving on down here, we've got a Mini Cooper, 2004, 98 Honda Prelude Type SH Coupe. Let's check that out and see what we're doing here. Manual transmission looks good. This is in the Rust Belt, but the undercarriage is looking pretty clean. Does not look like it's heavily modified. We do have some struts replaced. Interesting speakers for the sound system put into the rear seats. Dashboard modifications. We also see there that we are confirming it's a manual transmission right there. Looks like it's been lowered. Looks like it might have some stock wheels. Probably had been changed out for uh, special aftermarket wheels and then changed back to the stock for selling the car usually. That's what happens. And we have features that the car comes with. A quick look at the description shows that it has high miles. Also, it shows that they are just testing the waters and they're not in a rush to sell. Trades preferred, car, blah, 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 rust free. Okay, so when I see this, I do see a car that is going to be maybe a potential problem dealing with this owner in terms of negotiating because they are not in a rush to sell. They're just testing the waters. And their price is at 1,234 up here. That's typically not really telling you what their asking price is because that would be too good to be true. If it's $1,000, $234 dollars, that's probably a little lower than what they're expecting. In any case, you can go in here, ask them real quickly. Our favorite question: when was the timing belt last changed? If they show it here, you could still ask it. If they do show that they've changed the timing belt in their description, a manual transmission car has a secondary question you can ask, which is when was the clutch replaced? The manual transmission lasts quite a while, but there are some maintenance features to it that need to be taken care of, and changing out the clutch is one of those items. We have cars that we've seen here in other previous videos. Go check those out. I'll put a card up here to let you go check that out. Let's see. Okay, now we're getting into results from outside the search here. This can be interesting. Lots of Hondas. We have a 240SX Nissan. That's typically an interesting find, but they are usually heavily modified, and I think we're seeing one that has been modified to a great extent. Got some damage on the quarter panel in front of the rear wheel. We have a manual transmission, which is nice to see. And interior looks fairly clean. So this one here is going to be a fairly extensive vetting process to get to the bottom of what they've done to this car. If you're not really confident doing your own mechanical work, this would not be the car for you because it has lots of modifications and would take a lot of special care to understand what you have and to make sure that it's working. Uh, when you buy these, you're kind of at the mercy of what they've done to the car before you. And so you can ask them questions, ask for receipts for if they have had a shop do any of the work, who did that work, so then you can know hopefully maybe the quality of the work from their reputation if you can figure that out and find that out online. Let's move down here. We've got another 240SX, which is a 1993 convertible, 119,000 miles. Very interesting. These are a favorite of uh, the drifting set. Does not show the interior, cannot verify if it's manual. although they do say it has a 5-speed swapped in the description here. So that means that it originally was an automatic and they put a 5-speed in. Again, maybe they did a great job, maybe they didn't. This one here, in terms of modified cars, looks good. It looks tastefully done. It looks like they did a pretty complete job from the pictures. Time would tell if they did a good job. There is no warranty with these and no guarantee, of course. So you might want to check that out with a fine-tooth comb. I'm going to move on and let's see what we find here. We find this. Saw this earlier, and this is a real, true find. This is really, for this car, is a needle in a haystack. For a Honda Civic Si in 99 model year, they only made these two model years, 99 and 2000, and they came in this electric blue color, black, and red. But as we look through these pictures of this 99 Civic Si, it is amazingly clean and amazingly stock. Because these cars were the absolute favorite for modified or mods, people to do mods to them. The interior looks stock, bone stock. Look at that. The engine is clean and stock. How can that be? This is almost too good to be true. If I wasn't seeing these pictures, I would not believe it. In fact, I still don't believe it. I probably would have to go check it out, which I think I will. So in a future video, you'll probably see some footage of me checking this car out with the actual owner. That is, if the owner still owns this or still has it available when I go to check it out, because this type of car goes fast. So they want $6,000 for it, which is actually probably really a decent price for the current environment with our used car prices having been elevated in the current inflationary market, 164,000 miles. We look at the description and we do see that mainly used for weekend drives. This one looks like it was owned by a person that cares about what they have and also cares about keeping it stock. It does have brand new Neogen tires, which is good. Recent maintenance. Includes timing belt. There you go. Didn't even have to ask the question. Water pump was done, which is another element that you would want to see if the timing belt was changed. Typically, the water pump was changed. Thermostat, air filter, brake rotors and pads, catalytic converter, O2 sensor, spark plugs, shifter rebuild. Here you go. This is the crown jewel of this whole description. All OEM Honda parts. This is proof positive that this car was not modified with any aftermarket parts. I mean, it could have been, but pretty close to being dead on stock, even with all the replacement parts that they've put onto this car. So that is an amazing find for this car to have survived. What is it? 1999? That came out in 98. Could be a 25-year-old car that has not been modified away from OEM spec. I actually owned a red one of these. In fact, let me bring that up. I'll show you my pictures of this one that I used to own. This is a 2000 red. Owned it for probably about a year or less when I lived in Texas. Stick shift. So those cars are really nice. In fact, I enjoyed it a lot. Ended up selling it to a gentleman that was a younger gentleman, likely somebody that was going to take it and modify the car. So, in any case, this is a true find to get a Civic Si of this era that has not been messed with. I mean, this car even has stock wheels. Stock wheels. Stock wheels. Everybody changes their wheels. These wheels were special to this 99 or 2000 Civic Si. So when you see these wheels, if you're a true car nut and if you're a purist, you know this is true to form. So if you like these Hondas, I'd like you to leave a note at the bottom in the comments what year Civic Si you've owned. You can even put in newer generations, but I think arguably this 99 to 2000 model year was, I don't know, the best. That's arguable, I guess, and I'm sure you will leave your comments to let me know. But go ahead and like this video, share us to whoever you'd like to share us to, and check back because we're going to have a future video explaining what happened with this car because this one is going to be one that goes down in the record books for a car that was desirable to seek out and pursue and to potentially acquire. Also, leave in the comments any cars you'd like us to check out and to do a search for, or to give our comments. Um, until then, we'll see you soon.